Hey everyone, Complex back with another video, and today we're talking about one of my favorite topics, which you guessed it, is Anthem. I had the pleasure of playing the game over the weekend for the VIP demo, and I had an absolute blast, and am very much looking forward to playing it for the open demo, which is February 1st through February 3rd, which is this coming weekend. I cannot wait to dive back in. I miss Anthem terribly, and it's been less than 24 hours since I played, so that should clue you into how much fun I had. But I wanted to give you my overall thoughts and opinions on the game as it stood for the VIP demo, and then between now and the game releasing, I'm going to give early thoughts on various topics in just smaller bite-sized videos. So I'll do one on each Javelin, there'll be one on the Stronghold, one on Fort Tarsis and stuff like that, and just in case you guys wanted some more detail on the various little topics. But today's video is just an overall thoughts video on what we got to play in the demo. So let's just dive right on into it. And needless to say, I had a blast. I love this game. I really, really do. And there are a few things I'd like to see either improved upon or changed, but overall, I'm pretty in love. I can't wait to get the game. I found myself on day 2 of the demo kind of at the point where I love the game and I just want it to be my game, if that makes sense. Like, I want my Javelin, I want it to be my Interceptor, I want to have this stuff be like my loot that I get to keep, which is a really good sign, just because I want my stuff at this point, because I just want to start collecting and owning, and I want to know the story. I want to learn more about the lore in the world. And if you are playing the open demo this coming weekend, as a heads up, the codex for the game is available to read through, or parts of it. It definitely has some nice, interesting entries that talk about some of the backstory. There was one about Legion of the Dawn, one about Helena Tarsis, this and that, and it gave some really good information about the world, why certain things exist, why certain things don't exist, how Javelins came to be, how Helena Tarsis was. So if you are playing and lore is your thing, like it's my thing, definitely take a peek at that, and kind of take some time to read through it, because it's really interesting, and I cannot wait to get the rest of the codex entries as we play. So let's kind of just start with the world and free play and stuff like that. I loved the world. I love the verticality of the world. It's really interestingly designed. It feels comforting but alien all at the same time, if that makes sense. It's alien enough that I want to explore. I want to know what's over there. I want to go and explore this. I want to go into each and every little area. I want to learn the map. But comforting in the sense that I could live here. I can definitely live in this world, and that to me is the one thing I look for in a game, is how much can I live in this world, and I can definitely live in the world of Anthem. The one thing I will say is, playing on mouse and keyboard, the flying and swimming, it's a little wonky. It definitely is going to take a lot of getting used to. And also a lot of playing with various settings. I had to turn my sensitivity almost all the way down for both flying and swimming in the various settings options, and that made everything feel a lot better. And it just took some practice. Once I practiced flying, I was good. Once I got the hang of it, it was just I never want to stop flying. Swimming to me is still the ultimate boss in the game. And I know the joke for the VIP demo was the 95% load screen was the boss, but no. It was the swimming for me. So hopefully that gets refined and tweaked a little bit. I will say, if you are playing on mouse and keyboard and swimming is just brutal for you and it just doesn't feel good, it has the game itself, you can switch seamlessly between controller and keyboard and mouse. So if you keep a controller plugged in next to you, you can instantly switch between the two, and swimming on a controller and also flying on a controller feels a lot more smooth. Even once I got the flying down, taking tight turns, it's still wonky. It still doesn't feel right. I'm making a whole bunch of hand motions. You just can't really do it well. Hopefully that's something I'll either learn to do over time, or some of the keyboard and mouse controls will get just refined a little bit more on BioWare's end to make it a little bit more intuitive. But other than that, though, the controls were decent for keyboard and mouse. Some of the UIs, this and that, felt a little bit more native for controller, but it is what it is. I still enjoyed it. It's something that we'll just have to get used to, if that makes sense. But outside of that, the javelins are fun, man, and I like that each javelin feels unique. I felt like my Interceptor felt different from my Ranger, which felt different from my Storm, which felt very different from the Colossus. And if you don't know, those that played the VIP demo over the weekend got access to all 4 Javelins as a they're sorry for like all the trouble for the day one trouble and how some people like didn't get to get in and play. And if you are one of those people that didn't get to play the VIP demo but you were signed up for it and you tried to log in, you should have access to all 4 Javelins as well during the open demo. So that is something that you can go back and try out. But yeah, I do like that each Javelin feels unique. Each Javelin feels like it has a purpose, and you're like gonna have to learn how to play each of them. I am very curious though, as we go on in playing Anthem, if each Javelin is going to feel like it has, like everybody's gonna main a Javelin, like, so I'm gonna like main Interceptor and that's all I'm gonna play, or if it's gonna be a little bit more situational where, and depending on what you're going into, the situation, this and that, you're going to want to be proficient in all 4. So I am curious to see which way the community is going to lean. It's leaning more right now as it stands towards people just having their main and then that's all they play, but I think being proficient in all 4 of them isn't a bad thing. So I am curious to see how that, like through mission development, open world development, various events and this and that, like if it's raining or it's a cataclysmic event, or if there's a big something or other happening out in the open world when you do free play, are you better off bringing X, Y, and Z Javelin instead of bringing, you know, your normal main? And switching gears over to Fort Tarsis and just kind of like that environment, I did like a lot of the aesthetics in Fort Tarsis. I thought Fort Tarsis was interesting. I had fun walking around and exploring like the various alleyways and stuff like that that were there. I liked that NPCs were interchangeable, so it wasn't always the same NPC in the exact same spot every single time, no matter what time of day it was, so it made the world feel more alive, or Fort Tarsis feel more alive. The one thing I wasn't a fan of is the first person. Fort Tarsis is locked at first person, and I felt a little floaty. When I looked down and saw my body, like you can see like kind of like your feet and shins and your arms, that felt better walking, oddly enough, but for some reason just the first person isn't clicking for me. It's not something I particularly enjoy. I'm kind of keeping my fingers crossed that eventually they add a third person mode. I doubt that they will, but it would be nice. And just because, like I said, it did feel a little like I was a floating camera head kind of, you know what I mean? It wasn't my favorite. But moving on within Fort Tarsis, I really liked the mission. The story mission that they gave us was fun. It had some witty sarcasm in there. It was pretty much it's a BioWare mission, and I'm very excited to be able to say that like it was a classic BioWare mission kind of thing, with the right level of sarcasm and the right level of serious and the right level of mystery. I played it actually live on Twitch, and a lot of people also made that comment, like the banter was good. The kind of like dry humor sarcasm was perfect. The voice acting was really well done. I loved getting to know Matthias. I want to know more about Matthias now. I want to like know his whole story, and I want to sit down and chat with him and all this other stuff, and I'm just really happy to have like kind of learned what I did about him. And if their goal was to make me want to know more, then 10 out of 10, they accomplished that. And then you got to hear a little bit from Owen, who is your Cypher. You've heard him in some of the demo videos and stuff like that. He talks to you during free play and during world events, and I'm hoping that we hear a lot more from him in main story, because he is your Cypher. And his level of sarcasm and his level of like humor and quick wit and stuff like that is just, it's perfect. It's beautiful. I need to know all about Owen. I just cannot wait to meet him and like for serials and like and really get to know him as a character. I think it's going to be really fun. So yeah, I'm very excited on that front. For the Stronghold, I had a blast in the Stronghold. It was the right level of challenging, but satisfactory. I also felt like the Stronghold itself was built in such a way that if you're super introverted and you don't want to talk to people over mics, that you're gonna be fine. It's pretty self-explanatory what you need to do. It's very easy to figure everything out. But at the same time, if you are talking to people, it can make things definitely a lot easier, especially on the harder difficulties as you're progressing forward. Like if you hit any of the Grandmasters, especially like if you do Grandmaster 3, which is the hardest difficulty, I would probably suggest talking to people while you do it just to make things easier. But if you don't like talking to people, you just kind of prefer like the ME3 MP style or the MEA MP style where you don't have to talk to people, you just know what you're doing. The strongholds definitely kind of fill that niche on both sides. I would like to see text chat, I guess. Text chat would probably make some things easier, but for me, it's not mandatory. But I know a lot of PC players would like to see it, so hopefully that's a feature coming soon or at some point. Just because I know it would make strongholds a little bit easier, especially the harder difficulties going forward. So. And yes, to kind of talk about the elephant in the room, there were a few troubles with the VIP demo over the weekend. Some people couldn't get in. There was a 95% load screen bug. There was a hard time just getting in first thing in the morning. There were various glitches, people not getting their javelins. But overall, it didn't bother me too much just because I went in expecting there to be some trouble. And I thought the level of communication that BioWare kept up the whole time was great. There was a lot of transparency, a lot of, we know that this is happening, this is why it's happening, here's what we're doing. And they've done a make good already with people that played the VIP demo. You get an extra vinyl. And then they also mentioned that, like, if you couldn't log in and you've pre-ordered and you couldn't get into the VIP demo for whatever reason, they are looking for ways to make sure that you do get your vinyl. So, like, they're very, very much on top of things. There've already been, 2 blog posts from the director of the live services talking about the various things that have happened over the weekend, what the plans are going forward, this and that. So the level of communication right now is ace, and it makes me very excited for the future of Anthem. So on that note, I think I'll leave you guys here. If you played the VIP demo over the weekend, what were your thoughts? Did you enjoy playing? Or if you watched other people play, what did you think? Are you excited for Anthem? Are you still a little, worried or leery of Anthem? I definitely want to know. Leave it in the comments below or find me on Twitch, social media. You know the drill. I always love hearing from you guys. And just as a heads up, I will be playing the open demo over the weekend on Twitch, and the link for my Twitch page is in the description below. I'd love to see you. If you have questions, feel free to ask, or if you just want to see some live Anthem gameplay, I got you covered. And I will be trying to use the different javelins throughout the weekend, so now you guys can see a little bit of gameplay from each of them. So yeah, guys, thank you as always for joining me. I had an absolute blast getting to hang out with you all. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, guys!